Hey y'all, this is Jessica with Bless Your Heart. Let's do a holographic butterfly print diamond tumbler today. We're going to use glass butterflies from the glitter guy, and we're going to fold it half and half one way and half the other way, and we're going to cut out all of our triangles. Now generally with patterns this way, if you take the outer edges of your triangles, they sometimes match up and make it look seamless. So I'm going to go in and do a tiny crease in the very middle of both of the long sides of my triangles. And I'm going to measure my cup to try to get as close as I can to true center. And then I'm going to show you here in just a second that this little dot I'm going to make, that is where I'm going to put my tiny crease from my vinyl at that spot, and that's in my mind going to help me keep everything as nice and balanced as possible. To get this vinyl on, I am going to use the hinge method, but I am going to kind of cheat a little bit. I'm going to use these little pieces of masking tape to kind of keep the point where I need the point to be. I'm going to press that on when I take my little anchor piece off, and I'm going to use my big squeegee to kind of just push that vinyl onto the cup. If you do see that you get air pockets or lines or whatever, be real gentle. This is a thicker vinyl. So you don't want to really stretch it or distort it or anything like that. For the other side, I'm going to start out using the hinge method, but kind of just throw caution to the wind and kind of just eyeball it myself, but put it on the exact same way. You want to butt it up as close as you can to get that almost seamless look. And same as the other side, just push that vinyl on and move on to the next step. Once I'm happy with the way that feels, I'm going to go in and use my Cobolt Custom Edge Trimmer Tool, and I'm going to take off all this excess. I am going to try to pull this as tight as possible just to kind of help with ripples. I really didn't have a problem with it, but that's not to say that I wouldn't normally. Maybe this was just a lucky day. But I'm going to go in and get as much of that excess as I can off, because I don't want it to be, whenever I use the edge trimmer tool, for it to have those little ridges that it has to go over, and then my line won't be super crispy. Now this blade is completely adjustable, higher or whatever. I have figured out that I prefer it on the lowest setting. That's just almost the perfect width left to do some like vinyl striping, and you still have enough of that top edge to go in and get your little line of stainless steel. That's just my opinion. Take it for what you want. But this is really one of the best edger tools that I have tried. Now I'm going to go in and tape off all this vinyl. I don't want to get any epoxy or any glitter on it at this moment in time. So I'm going to go in and just use this Amazon tape. It's 1 inch, and I'm going to go on all 4 sides of that vinyl, and then I'm going to go around the top edge and the bottom edge and get it all sealed in there. For my glitter adhesive today, I'm going to use the epoxy method because I'm using a chunky glitter and I kind of want it to sink in a little bit. And you just want to get a very thin layer of epoxy over all of your cup that is showing. The glitters I'm going to use today are both from West Texas Glitter. This chunky is Cobolt, and the fine I'm going to use is called Midnight Moon. These are just really pretty blues. This chunky has a lot of iridescent to it. And I'm just gonna not really go full ham on it, but I am gonna go pretty heavy coverage because I want a lot of dimension in this. I want a lot of that movement. And then with this fine, I'm just gonna go in and kind of fill in all of those gaps and all the little potholes that I missed and cover the rest of the cup that is untaped, cover that up completely. Don't forget to take time and admire your handiwork because you're doing good things with this glitter here. After we get all of the epoxy on, we want to go in and immediately remove all of that masking tape because we do not want that to cure to this vinyl at all. Once you get all that removed, you can kind of pat down your chunky pieces a little bit, but you already know we're going to go in and do some vinyl striping, so a little bit of that cut peeking through is not the end of the world. And here's the vinyl for my decal. It's just a really pretty kind of shifty blue and then just a really shiny chromy type silver for the offset. I am going to use the parchment method to get the top part onto the offset, and we're going to move on to the next step after that. Now there is some great lost footage of me applying this decal to the cup. No idea where it went. It's nowhere on my device, but we all kind of know how to place those. If you do need something a little bit more in detail as far as decal placements or anything like that, just leave me a comment below and I will do my best to accommodate whatever it is you would like to see me do. This is a coat of epoxy with just a really light sanding right where that vinyl and that glitter meet. I'm going to start lining it with a textured black from Cricut, and I'm going to go on all 4 sides of that vinyl. Now I did end up going in and cutting a little blue butterfly out of that top vinyl I used for the name, and I put that in the middle. So I'm going to outline this little diamond that these pieces of vinyl make, and I'm going to cut it right where you can see that overlap. So we're going to cover that up, but I'm going to use it as my guide. You can see right there where that overlap is. I'm just going to cut it right there. I did not size my butterfly to be inside that little space. I wanted to kind of frame it, but it's a butterfly, so it should be free to roam where it wants to roam. So I'm going to cut around it. And on top of this black is where I'm going to use the textured silver, and I'm going to use my thinnest piece of vinyl that I have cut, and I'm going to try my best to get it right through the middle of that black vinyl. And I'm going to do that again on all 4 sides and cut it the exact same way around that butterfly. Now to finish my vinyl striping, I'm going to go back in with the textured vinyl, and I'm going to go around that top ledge where the vinyl meets and around the bottom ledge where the vinyl meets. Now what this is going to do is it's going to kind of seal those 2 pieces of textured vinyl underneath this piece of vinyl, and in theory we will not have lifting on those pieces of vinyl because it's now covered up. So then you just epoxy until smooth, and here you go. And you can see the holographicness of that beautiful vinyl from the glitter guy. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.